Hey guys, welcome back to another very interesting video of our channel Versatile Knowledge. In this video, we will be talking with you about a very interesting topic that is about the strategy of OnePlus, the global flagship smartphone maker based out of China. As you all know, they have been releasing some of the great smartphones. They started out with the OnePlus One in 2013, that sandstone black OnePlus One, and which was priced very low, around 22,000, and which became the flagship killer. And it absolutely disrupted the smartphone market when it comes to the flagship smartphones. Then they released the new iterations with the OnePlus 2, the OnePlus 3, 3T, 5, 5T, 6, and now the 6T. All of them have been really great smartphones, and from my perspective, I absolutely love the brand OnePlus. In this video, we'll be talking with you guys about what wrong that OnePlus is doing over the last two iterations, and I mean, if they keep on following the same strategy, they might even get dethroned from the spot of that flagship killer or the #1 premium smartphone market brand in India. So let's get started. Guys, as you people might have noticed that OnePlus recently released the OnePlus 6T, the McLaren edition. The McLaren is a global car manufacturer, and OnePlus collaborated with McLaren to launch this OnePlus 6T McLaren edition. And it is an amazing smartphone. I mean, from my perspective, if you think, it is a great smartphone with some mind-blowing specifications such as like 10 gigabytes of RAM, that warp charging, 256 gigabytes of internal storage, and etc, etc. And what I am thinking from my perspective is, see, this is what OnePlus is doing. OnePlus is thinking too much into, I mean, OnePlus is putting too much money into marketing, or OnePlus is putting too much money into, I mean, what extravagance they can provide to their already existing line of smartphones. This is a right strategy in one point, in one way, if you think it's a right strategy only. But the point here is, OnePlus is competing with the global smartphone giants in the smartphone market, like the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 for an example. If I want to give you, Samsung Galaxy Note 9 is one such smartphone which provides complete package. As you can see, that it has almost everything that a user wants or a user might need from a smartphone. That is one example. Or the Huawei Mate 20 Pro is one example that's releasing some amazing smartphones. Huawei has been releasing some amazing smartphones like P20 Pro, the Mate 20 Pro. Now recently they launched the Nova 4. Everything has been absolutely amazing. The Mate 20 Pro, as you guys might have seen all over the internet, has been almost the best smartphone of 2018. But since OnePlus is competing with these kind of global smartphone giants, they have to provide the best specifications or the best value for money in each segment. So let's divide this whole discussion into different things. I mean, different sectors. Let's talk about the specifications itself. OnePlus, recently released the McLaren edition, as you guys know. They priced the smartphone at 51,000 in India. I mean, okay, cool. I mean, let's just digest this fact for this moment. They priced that smartphone for 51,000 in India. But from a common user perspective, does any user even need a 10 gigabyte of RAM on a smartphone? There are laptops running on Core i5, Core i7 with 8 gigabytes, running faster than any smartphone out there. So the point here is, does any smartphone or any application or an Android smartphone, does it need to extract those 10 gigabytes of RAM? I know Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 is capable of utilizing 10 gigabytes of RAM, but give me some applications, give me a process that can execute that will need 10 gigabyte of RAM to execute on that phone. That's the point. 10 gigabyte of RAM has become that marketing strategy for them. Okay, now let's talk about the cameras on the OnePlus 6T. The cameras on the OnePlus 6T is the same camera that was there in the OnePlus 6. which is the same camera that was there on the OnePlus 5T. So from the last three successive smartphone releases, OnePlus have never really upgraded the whole camera ecosystem on their phones. And OnePlus 5T was priced at around 37,000. OnePlus 6 came at around, the mid-range variant or the top-line variant. Let's talk about. It came around 42 or 43,000. And now the OnePlus 6T's top variant is retailing at around 51,000 rupees. And if someone is paying a premium as high as 51,000 rupees, why they should be buying a OnePlus 6T McLaren edition? Just for 10 gigabytes of RAM, nobody would want to buy a OnePlus 6T McLaren edition. Of course, there are specific set of target audiences or the true OnePlus fan. I myself is a true OnePlus fan, but since we have started out on a new journey here at Versatile Knowledge, we analyzed from a real end user perspective. OnePlus is doing a great job. There is no doubt about it. But the point is, at 51,000 rupees, why would a user who is using a OnePlus 5T already with the same camera or the same camera component or the same result providing camera would want to upgrade to a OnePlus 6T? That's the point. And that's the second thing that I wanted to discuss with you. The third thing is the warp charge that they have advertised on the OnePlus OnePlus 6T, the McLaren edition. The warp charge is providing the output at 30 watt. Okay, that's the 30 watt, and they have marketed it as the warp charge as fast, the speed you need, and that and this and that. There are so many marketing keywords that are using to market their smartphones to sell better. And the point here is, it is not the fastest charger in the world, right? There is the Super Whoop charge provided by Oppo, and there is this Huawei's charger that clocks at 40 watt, and the Super Whoop, as I just told you, the Super Whoop charge clocks at 50 watt. This is the revolutionary kind of charging system. But when you're concentrating on your future projects, you have to produce results. You have to provide some real value for money smartphones. Okay, that was the third point, that about the warp charge. Now let's talk about a very important point, guys. OnePlus, in their product presentations or while launching a new smartphone, you guys might have observed, will give comparisons to the Pixels or the iPhones or the Galaxy Notes or any top range smartphone or the flagship smartphones of the world. When you are comparing yourself with a flagship smartphone of the world, one of the most important differentiating factor will come out. That is your resistance of your smartphones against water and dust. That is the IP rating. And none of the OnePlus smartphones till date have this IP rating. And IP rating, if you guys don't know, is known as ingress protection or international protection, or you guys might have observed in the specification sheet mentioned as IP68 or IP67 or IP54 or whatever. This is known as international protection or ingress protection. It is a standard that will be, it's just like a standard license that will be given for the, that will be rated for a smartphone. If you guys want, I will make a completely new video on what ingress protection is and understand other stuffs completely related to ingress protection. But the fact or the point here is, none of the OnePlus smartphones have this IP rating till date. So if you're pricing your smartphones at 51,000 from the next year, OnePlus someone will be releasing in near future. So if they're releasing this smartphone again without an IP rating, so you will receive 100% you will start receiving criticism. That's what my message to OnePlus is. If someone from the team of OnePlus is watching this video, or if they happen to stumble upon my channel and this video, this is my honest opinion. So this is my honest feedback to you guys, because since you are one of the few companies which will really hear to what the end user or your fans say. So, I being a OnePlus fan myself, thinking from my perspective and thinking from all the masses perspective, I'm giving you this opinion, OnePlus. The thing is, start giving out that OnePlus, real flagship features, 10 GB RAM, 256 GB storage, Okay, up to some extent, these things will fetch you audiences. I mean, in the long run, these features will not get you anywhere. The point here is start upgrading your camera system. Start giving that pixel quality camera systems. Even though you charge a premium amount, if you have that pixel grade camera systems, people will take it. People will be ready to buy it. That's the point over here. This is the fourth point about we were discussing is about the IP rating. So none of the OnePlus smartphones has IP rating. So in the next iterations, you should have the IP ratings on your phone. And the most important factor, I would rate this as the most important factor. Since OnePlus is targeting the Western audiences as well, OnePlus 60 successfully got exported to America. It's been retailing in US successfully. OnePlus 60 have been doing great business in USA and still doesn't have wireless charging. In India, there are very less amount of people who would be using wireless charging. But in countries like US, people really use wireless charging, as we have seen in a lot of reviews, as we have seen in a lot of articles over the internet. What we have observed is wireless charging is becoming a part of necessity of an Android smartphone these days, an Android or an iOS smartphone, whatever. That's what. So in the next iteration or the next smartphone, even if you price your smartphone at 51,000 and provide it, if you have provided the wireless charging or the IP rating, the people would be ready to shell out that money. That will be a really good thing for the OnePlus smartphones. I expected OnePlus to release IP rating when they released the IP rating and the wireless charging when they released the OnePlus 6 itself, but it neither came on the OnePlus 6 nor it came on the OnePlus 60. Both the IP rating and the the waterproofing. And there is another very important key differentiating factor known as the mil-spec standard 810G protection against drops and shocks. You guys might have seen some tough cases or the Panasonic Toughbooks, or you guys might have seen the LG G7 or LG V40. These phones have this specification or this rating called the mil-spec 810G. This is known as the military grade standard rating, just like an IP rating, against the shocks and the drops. Of course, it does make a lot of difference in the durability of the smartphone. That rating is provided in the phone itself. That rating is provided in the phone itself. LG G7, which retailed in India at around 40,000, had IP rating, had wireless charging, and had this mil-spec standard 810G against dust and drop. Let's take an example. Next year, if LG releases a smartphone with stock Android with the same great camera that LG would provide, and this wireless charging and IP rating and mil-spec standard 810G, and release it to the smartphone market at 45,000. Just take an example. Release all these smartphones with the top-notch specifications at 45,000 and market it in the best possible way. And OnePlus is launching some smartphone in the same range without all these very important differentiating factors. Why would someone want to buy OnePlus smartphones? That's a point over here. That's a point I wanted to make over here. This is a very important message that I wanted to put it across to all the people who are watching this video. Through this video, I just want to share a message. I'm just trying to educate people. We are not here to defame or put a shame on OnePlus, because I myself use the OnePlus phones from a very long time, and I'm a die-hard OnePlus user as well. The point here is, if you're competing against these flagship smartphones, if you're comparing yourself with the smartphones of the 60,000-70,000 rupee bracket, then start providing those kind of premium features. I have no doubts the performance on OnePlus phones are absolutely exceptional. The battery life is absolutely exceptional. The RAM, the RAM that you guys provide, the specifications that you guys provide, the design that you guys provide, and the Snapdragon, the upgrades over every year. All these things are absolutely wonderful, and these things are absolutely necessary for a smartphone to release a successive smartphone. Don't you guys think? See, Snapdragon 835 on a OnePlus 5T. If you're releasing a OnePlus 6 with the Snapdragon 835, it makes a huge difference in the market. You guys absolutely understand about this. There makes a huge difference in the market. So 845 Snapdragon 845 is a necessity. It doesn't become the luxury that you guys would be aiming for. A flagship is that takes everything from necessity to luxury. That in my perspective, that's a flagship means. It is a necessity. That OnePlus Snapdragon 845 is a necessity. That 8 gigabytes of RAM would be a necessity for some people. And I mean 128 GB, 512 GB, 256 GB storage is a necessity. Great color options is it's a necessity for some people as well. But the differentiating factor would be exceptional cameras. Untick. OnePlus 60 doesn't have exceptional cameras. Untick. Headphone jack was a huge thing. It's a huge deal. It becomes a deal breaker for so many people. If I had an option of recommending OnePlus 6 and if it was not discontinued as of now, I would have gone forward and recommended OnePlus 6 to a lot of users just because of the headphone jack. Yeah, just because of the headphone jack. And OnePlus 60 is not that a huge of an upgrade. Design wise, that water drop notch, in-display fingerprint scanner, everything is amazing. I mean, I have no doubts about it. That's from my perspective. But from a common user, from a layman, from a mass user perspective, that's not a huge factor. If OnePlus 6 was available today at 30 or 32,000, providing the same amount of specification minus the water drop notch and in-display fingerprint scanner, I would have gone forward and recommended the OnePlus 6 itself. Yeah, so headphone jack was another luxury. See, I would like to summarize my whole discussion with you guys. The thing is, if you want to provide that flagship, I mean, if you want to remain as the flagship killer brand in India, if you want to remain that flagship killer, you guys have reached the mountain of the #1 premium smartphone brand in India. I mean, congratulations on the feat. And if you guys have to retain that top spot over the next couple of years, this could be a part of your strategy. Start releasing real flagship features to keep you differentiated from the the Samsungs or the Apples or the Pixels or the Huawei's, because the most important factor that differentiated, that made OnePlus the brand that is today, was the price. You released a Snapdragon 801 with 3 GB of RAM, Cyanogen mod, outstanding build quality, great battery life at 20,000 back then in 2013. And today, if you're providing the 50,000 phone with just a minor color upgrade from 8 GB to 10 GB, which was absolutely unnecessary. I mean, if you continue on doing these things, it will not take you anywhere in the coming days. So I would say, I would want a OnePlus phone, a OnePlus 7 or a OnePlus 7T that's coming in the next year with these flagship specifications. This would be my checklist for a flagship in 2019. And for people who don't know why OnePlus have been doing this, new colors, new RAM, extra RAM, extra storage additions, it's all a part of marketing strategy, guys. See. You release a smartphone in 2018. Okay, 2018. They have this OnePlus 60. They just increased the price of the OnePlus 60 with just a new color and a slight RAM improvement. There is nothing else in that smartphone. There is absolutely nothing in that smartphone. I am a OnePlus fan and a OnePlus user and a true recommender of smartphones. I am telling myself, there is nothing else in OnePlus 60 McLaren edition except that 10 GB of RAM or that warp charge or that new color or whatever. That is absolutely unnecessary. I would go ahead and buy a Thunder Purple variant. If I had some around 40,000, 50,000 rupees, I would have gone forward and bought myself a Thunder Purple. Thunder Purple is an amazing color variant. See, the point here is, OnePlus is increasing the price, releasing the limited edition phone every year. Pricing it at around 50,000 rupees, 50 or 51,000 rupees. And in the next year, if the mid-range of that OnePlus is priced at around 51,000 rupees, people won't be in a state of, people will not be in a state of shock, kind of. If you guys are understanding my point, people will not be in shock, like, oh, OnePlus released a smartphone at 51,000. What's the big deal? They had that, one McLaren edition last year itself. So that will be the thinking of people. So they are playing with the people mindset, and they're also playing with some marketing strategies with some new colors and things as such. If OnePlus needs to continue to be the best flagship smartphone in the next year, these things needs to be checked in my perspective. That is the IP rating. they must have that IP rating, guys. It's been a long time. There have been 8 or 9 phones, I guess, from OnePlus till now. No IP rating. Just get yourself IP rated. Then that is IP68 dust and water resistance, mil spec standards. That's extra luxury that I would want on a OnePlus phone. Wireless charging, and the one of the most important parts is true stereo speakers. See, these are the 4 points: wireless charging, IP rating, true stereo speakers, and military grade standard 810G dust and shock resistance. That is, shock and drop resistance. These are the 4 important, and one of the most important points that I would say would be differentiating factor. 5th point is, even if you give all these features with the Snapdragon 855 in your next OnePlus 7 or something, that 8 or 10 gigabytes of RAM and all those software tweaks to make your phone the fastest in the world, the speed you need, and all those marketing strategy, put it in one complete bundle and market it at 50,000. People would easily buy it and people would easily recommend it, unless having a second thought in mind as of now. So if someone comes to me and asks, should I buy the McLaren edition? I would easily tell, no, just don't buy the McLaren edition. Go for the OnePlus 60 Thunder Purple. That's more than enough. You don't need 10 GB RAM. You don't need extra color, unless you are like too so much into that color or something, or the orange braided cable or something. Just go ahead and buy the Thunder Purple. Just go ahead and buy the Midnight Black or the 8GB 128GB or even 6GB 128GB variant of the OnePlus 60, which is retailing at around 37,999, is more than sufficient. Why would someone come and buy 151,000 rupee McLaren edition? So this is my point to the OnePlus community, to the company itself. So if you guys have liked this video, please hit the like button and share this video with as many people as you can.